I was trembling. I saw my husband fastening a diamond necklace around another woman's neck right before my very eyes. But I didn't make a scene. Instead, I called the bank and reported his credit card stolen. Then, I sat down calmly, waiting for the drama to begin. 5 minutes later, it was time for him to pay. My husband was in a full-blown panic. Before the story begins, please write in the comments section where you're all watching from. Don't forget to like and subscribe so this channel can grow and bring you more entertaining stories. The faint clink of a porcelain teaspoon against a teacup was the only sound breaking the silence of the Sterling Crest Bank's private client lounge that afternoon. The room was cool, with a subtle scent of lavender, far removed from the clamor of the regular clients on the main floor below. Sophia sat perfectly upright, her legs elegantly crossed. She wore a cream-colored silk blouse that fit her form flawlessly, paired with tailored black slacks. There was no ostentatious jewelry on her, save for a small watch with a leather strap on her left wrist. However, any discerning eye would know that the watch alone was worth as much as a luxury sedan. Across from her, Mr. Reynolds, the gray-haired branch manager of Sterling Crest, smiled warmly as he handed over a thick, dark blue folder. Mrs. Alcantara, we've finished processing the transfer of all funds from your joint account to your personal account, Mr. Reynolds said in his calm, baritone voice. As per your instructions this morning, the inheritance from your late father has not been placed in the company's operational account managed by Mr. Leo, but into a long-term certificate of deposit solely in your name. Sophia breathed a sigh of relief, as if a great weight had been lifted from her shoulders. Thank you so much, Mr. Reynolds. I just want to ensure that the assets my father left behind are secure. It's not that I don't trust my husband, but the real estate development business Leo is managing now is volatile. I need to have my own contingency fund in case of any cash flow problems. Mr. Reynolds nodded. He had known Sophia's family for decades. He knew how Sophia's father had built their business empire from the ground up, and he was also privy to some of the whispers about Leo, Sophia's husband, who now ran the company's operations. A very wise decision, Mrs. Alcantara. As a banker, I always recommend diversification. Never put all your eggs in one basket. As they say, Mr. Reynolds chuckled lightly, trying to ease the somewhat tense atmosphere. Sophia offered a faint smile. You're right, Mr. Reynolds. Oh, and one more thing regarding the Infinite Prestige card with the shared limit. Please ensure that all notifications are sent directly to my phone. Leo tends to be careless with these things, and I wouldn't want us to miss a payment. It's already done, Mrs. Alcantara. All notifications for transactions exceeding $5,000 will be sent directly to your phone via text and email in real time. Mr. Leo still holds the authorized user card, but as the primary account holder, you retain ultimate control over all authorizations. Sophia sipped her chamomile tea, which had cooled slightly. Its taste was calming. This day was crucial. She had just moved hundreds of millions of dollars out of her husband's reach without him knowing. She wasn't sure why, but her intuition, as both a wife and a businesswoman, had been screaming at her to do it since last week. Well then, I'll be on my way, Mr. Reynolds. I have other errands to run. Sophia set her cup down and stood. Allow me to escort you to the lobby, Mrs. Alcantara. Mr. Reynolds quickly stood and adjusted his suit jacket. That won't be necessary, sir. I'll use the side exit that connects to the mall. I need to find a birthday gift for my mother-in-law for next week. Besides, my car is with the valet. I'll just call my driver when I'm finished. In that case, take care, Mrs. Alcantara. Please give my regards to Mr. Leo. Sophia simply nodded. She stepped out of the cold room and into the corridor that connected the bank building to one of the most luxurious shopping centers in Midtown Manhattan. Her steps were deliberate and steady, the sound of her heels echoing on the marble floor with a regular rhythm. Click, clack. She felt victorious. Her assets were secure, her future protected. Let Leo busy himself with his ambitious projects. Sophia was the one who truly held the keys to their fortune. She looked forward to a little stroll through the mall. Perhaps she'd buy some new jewelry to add to her collection or simply browse the new handbag arrivals. Little did she know, that simple decision to walk through the mall that day would turn her life upside down. Fate was waiting for her behind the automatic glass doors that separated the bank from the bustling world of high-end retail. The air inside the mall was different, more vibrant, noisier, and filled with a mix of expensive perfumes, freshly ground coffee, and the chill of the centralized air conditioning. Sophia tightened her grip on her handbag and walked slowly, passing the rows of designer boutiques on the ground floor. Her eyes scanned the glittering display windows. She had intended to look at gold jewelry, but her feet carried her toward the high-end jewelry section on the left wing of the mall. There, renowned jewelry stores frequented by New York's socialites were lined up. Maybe a simple necklace for Mom would be nice, Sophia whispered to herself. She approached a store, Viridian Jewels, one of her regular jewelers. The store had expansive glass walls, allowing anyone outside to see the opulence within. Sophia was about to enter, her hand outstretched to push the heavy glass door. When her motion froze in midair, her blood ran cold. Her heart seemed to stop for a full second before it began to pound violently, painfully, in her head. Inside, standing right in front of a display of solitaire diamond rings, was a man whose posture she knew all too well. That light blue slim-fit polo Sophia had bought it for him last month. The chronograph watch on his left wrist, her gift for their anniversary 2 years ago. The neat haircut, with a touch of pomade, her husband's typical style. That was Leo. But Leo was not alone. At his side, clinging affectionately to his left arm, was a young woman. Her hair was long, wavy, and light brown. She wore a short dress that showed off her long legs and high heels that accentuated her height. Her face was beautifully made up with the dewy, glowing look popular among young women today. Sophia took a step back, her legs feeling like jelly. She saw Leo laughing, a free, uninhibited laugh. A laugh Sophia hadn't seen in their home for a long time. Leo bent down and whispered something in the woman's ear, then quickly kissed her on the cheek. The kiss was so natural, so relaxed. They looked like the happiest couple in the world, as if they weren't in a public play. Who was that woman? Sophia tried to remember. The face was familiar. She had seen it in photos from Leo's office gathering last month. A new secretary or an intern. She vaguely recalled the name. Chloe. Leo had mentioned her as a hardworking and dependable employee. Now, it was clear she was dependable in other ways. Sophia watched as the woman, Chloe, pointed at a jewelry set in the display. A diamond necklace with a teardrop pendant surrounded by smaller diamonds, along with a matching pair of earrings. Sophia knew that set well. It was from the latest collection, costing $250,000. Leo nodded without hesitation. He caressed Chloe's back and motioned for the sales lady to bring out the jewelry. Sophia's chest tightened, as if an invisible hand were squeezing her lungs. A wave of nausea rose in her throat. Leo, she whispered, her voice hoarse. At home, Leo was always complaining that business was slow. Let's not be too extravagant right now, honey. There are problems with the project. The client's payment was delayed. That's what Leo always said whenever Sophia suggested a vacation or renovating the house. Sophia, as an understanding wife, always complied. She even used her own savings for some household expenses so Leo wouldn't be stressed. And now, right before her eyes, the husband who claimed business was slow was ready to buy jewelry worth a studio apartment for another woman. Anger began to rise, replacing the shock. Sophia's hands, which had been trembling, were now clenched into tight fists. Her nails dug into her palms, leaving crescent-shaped marks. She could go in right now. She could kick open the door, grab the woman by the hair, slap Leo in front of everyone, and create a scandal that would go viral on social media. It would be satisfying, so satisfying. But Sophia was no fool. She was the only daughter of a real estate mogul. She had been taught never to show emotion in front of an enemy. Crying and shouting would only make her look pathetic. It would only give Leo a reason to defend himself or even blame her. No. Sophia took a deep breath. 1, 2. She slowly stepped back, hiding behind a large pillar covered in mosaic mirrors, ensuring she couldn't be seen from inside the store but could still see them. Sophia stared at her reflection in the pillar's mirror. Her face was pale, but her eyes were blazing. You want to play with fire, Leo? She whispered coldly. Fine, I'll provide the gasoline. From behind the pillar, Sophia took out her smartphone. The screen lit up, showing their wallpaper, a photo of the two of them on their honeymoon in the Maldives 5 years ago. Leo's smile in the picture looked so fake now. With fingers that no longer trembled, Sophia found a contact in her phone. She didn't call Leo. That was for amateurs. She pressed the name of Mr. Reynolds, the bank manager. The phone rang. Ring, ring. Hello, Mrs. Alcantara. Did you perhaps leave something behind? Came Mr. Reynolds' alert voice on the other end. He was surely surprised, as Sophia had just left his office 10 minutes ago. Sophia cleared her throat, composing her voice. She needed to sound calm, a little worried, but still authoritative. The performance had begun. Mr. Reynolds, I apologize for the trouble. I need your help. It's urgent, Sophia said. What is it, Mrs. Alcantara? Was there a problem with the transfer? Mr. Reynolds' tone became serious. No, it's not about that. It's... Sophia paused for dramatic effect. Her eyes remained fixed on Leo inside the store, who was now fastening the necklace around Chloe's neck. Chloe looked ecstatic, admiring herself in a small mirror held by the sales lady. Leo just called me. He said his wallet is missing. He thinks he was pickpocketed during a meeting outside. Sophia lied smoothly. A perfectly logical lie. His supplementary infinite prestige card, the one linked to my main account, was in that wallet. You know how that card has virtually no limit. Oh, this is dangerous, Mrs. Alcantara. A card of that caliber, in the wrong hands, could be drained in minutes. Mr. Reynolds replied with concern. That's exactly what I'm afraid of, sir. The thief might try to use it immediately at luxury stores to cash out quickly. I'll block it right away, Mrs. Alcantara. Wait, sir, Sophia said quickly. Don't just block it. I want you to set the card's status to stolen fraud attempt. That way, if anyone tries to swipe it in the next few minutes, the POS machine will reject it with a security code indicating it's stolen. And please ensure the bank's system sends me a notification with the location of the failed transaction. Is that possible? Of course. That's our standard operating procedure for high-priority cards reported missing. I'm inputting it into the central system right now. Status: card lost. Stolen. Permanent block. It will take about 2 minutes to become active across all merchant networks. Please do it now, Mr. Reynolds. I'll wait for your confirmation. Yes, Mrs. Alcantara. Processing. There, it's done. The card in the name of Mr. Leo Alcantara ending in 8,888 is now deactivated, effective this second. Any transaction attempted after this will be automatically declined and treated as fraudulent. Thank you so much, Mr. Reynolds. You're a lifesaver. I'll just tell Leo to sort out a replacement card next week. Maybe this will teach him to be more careful, Sophia said, her tone that of a wife scolding her careless husband. Not at all, Mrs. Alcantara. I'm glad I could help you protect your assets. The call ended. Sophia lowered her phone. The corner of her lip curled up into a chilling smirk. The trap was set. Leo was holding the magic card he always boasted about. A card whose bill was always paid in full by Sophia every month, using dividends from the company she inherited from her father. Leo often forgot, or pretended to forget, that all the luxury he enjoyed, the car he drove, the social status he flaunted came from Sophia. Without Sophia, Leo was just an ordinary operations manager with a standard salary that would never be enough to buy million-dollar diamonds. Enjoy your last 5 minutes of pride, Leo, Sophia whispered. She looked at her watch, 1:15 p.m. Time to find a good seat. Directly across from Viridian Jewels was an open-space cafe called the Balcony Brew. The cafe's location was slightly elevated above the ground floor, offering a perfect bird's-eye view of the main mall corridor, including the entrance to the jewelry store. Sophia entered the cafe. She chose a corner table near the glass barrier. From here, she was like a spectator in a VIP box, ready to watch a gladiator match. Good afternoon, ma'am. What can I get for you? A polite waiter asked, handing her a menu. Iced Americano, no sugar, and a slice of cheesecake, Sophia answered without looking at the menu. Her eyes were glued to the store across the way. Okay, ma'am. One moment, please. While waiting for her order, Sophia's mind flashed back to that morning. 8 a.m. They were having breakfast. Leo seemed to be in a hurry, finishing his bagel and coffee. I'll be home late tonight, honey, Leo had said while adjusting his tie. Overtime again? Sophia had asked. Yeah, I have a meeting with a client from Chicago. It's crucial for the new condominium project. I'll probably be very late. Don't wait up. Sophia remembered offering to pack him lunch, but Leo had refused, saying he and the client would eat out. A client from Chicago? Huh. That client turned out to be a young woman in a miniskirt, now giggling flirtatiously as she pointed at rings in the display. Sophia's order arrived, a cold, black coffee. She stirred it slowly, the straw clinking against the ice. Across the way, events began to unfold. It seemed Chloe had made her choice. Sophia could see the sales lady taking out a calculator, typing in numbers and showing it to Leo. Leo just nodded, seemingly unconcerned. His demeanor was that of old money, unbothered by the price. So arrogant, Leo, Sophia thought. Chloe clapped her hands lightly and hugged Leo's arm tightly. The woman's face was a picture of triumph. She probably thought she had captured her boss's heart and secured an expensive gift. Chloe must have felt on top of the world, more loved than the legal wife at home. Then, Leo pulled out his black leather wallet from his back pocket, another gift from Sophia. From that wallet, he produced an elegant black card, the Infinite Prestige card. The card that, just 2 minutes ago, had been flagged as stolen throughout the country's entire banking system. Sophia took a sip of her coffee. It was bitter, but the bitterness of the coffee was nothing compared to the bitterness in her heart. But with each passing second, the pain slowly faded, replaced by a cruel curiosity. She wanted to see Leo's face when his mask of wealth was forcibly torn away. Sophia watched Leo hand the card to the cashier with confidence. The cashier accepted it with both hands, bowed respectfully, and walked over to the POS machine on the counter. 1. Sophia counted in her mind. 2. 3. The show was about to begin. Inside the store, Leo was still smiling as he looked at Chloe. After this, we'll eat at that steakhouse upstairs, okay, honey? Leo whispered. Do you like the jewelry set? I love it, Leo, thank you. You're the one who really understands me. Not like your paranoid, old-fashioned wife, Chloe replied in a syrupy sweet tone. Leo chuckled. Shh. Let's not talk about her here. At the counter, the cashier inserted the card into the POS machine. She entered the transaction amount, $250,000. Connecting. The indicator light flashed green, then suddenly turned red. A long, sharp beep echoed. On the machine's small screen, the words appeared, declined. Do not honor. The cashier frowned. She tried swiping it again. Maybe it was just a connection issue. She repeated the process. Beep. Declined. Retain card. The retain card command was a serious instruction from the bank. It meant the cashier was not to return the card to the customer, as there was an indication of a crime. The cashier, an experienced older woman, immediately looked at Leo with a different expression. The earlier respect was gone, replaced by suspicion. She signaled to the security guard, standing near the door. I'm sorry, sir, the cashier said in a slightly raised voice, causing other customers to turn. Your card has been declined. Leo's smile vanished. Declined? What do you mean? That card has no limit. It's impossible for it to be over the limit. It's not over the limit, sir. It's declined. The code says, stolen card. What? Leo's voice rose. Don't talk like that. That's my card. Look at the name Leo Alcantara. Try it again. We've tried twice, sir. The result was the same. And according to the bank's procedure, I'm afraid we have to keep the physical card. The cashier moved the card away from Leo's reach. Give me back my card. Leo started to panic, his face turning red. Chloe, standing beside him, began to look confused and embarrassed. Leo, what's going on? Aren't you paying your bills? No, there must be a problem with the bank's system, Leo shouted. Cold sweat began to trickle down his temples. He didn't have that much cash on him. His other debit cards only had enough for lunch, not for diamonds. All his significant funds were tied to that card whose funds originated from Sophia's account. The security guard approached. Is there a problem here, sir? This crazy woman won't give me back my card, Leo yelled. Sir, please calm down. We're just following procedure. If you are the true owner, please call your bank now, said the store manager, emerging from the back. But for now, we cannot process the transaction, and we have to call mall security because there's an indication of fraud. The situation escalated. People outside the store began to gather to watch. Sophia, in the cafe across, watched calmly as she cut a piece of her cheesecake. Go on, Leo. Who are you going to call now? You have no one to run to but me. Leo fumbled for his phone, his hands shaking. He tried to open his mobile banking app to transfer funds. Failed. Your account has been temporarily blocked. Please contact the call center. Leo's world crumbled. He was trapped. He had brought his mistress, flaunted his wealth, and was now being accused of being a fraud in public. Chloe was slowly backing away, pretending to look at another display, ashamed to be seen with him. Damn it, Leo muttered. He had no other choice. He had to call the only person who could save him. The person he had betrayed just 5 minutes ago. Sophia's phone vibrated on the table. The caller ID read, "My husband." She let it ring 3 times. 1, 2, 3. She answered the call with a sweet voice. "Hello, honey. What's up? I thought you were in a meeting with your client." "Honey." "Sophia." Leo's voice was filled with panic and fear. "Help me. My credit card isn't working." "Did you block it?" Sophia feigned surprise. "What? Me? Wasn't your wallet stolen?" "What? What's stolen?" "I'm at the store. I was just buying something a client asked me to pick up. Mr. Reynolds from the bank called me." "Leo," Sophia said quickly, turning the situation around. "He said there was a suspicious transaction of hundreds of thousands at a jewelry store. The bank system detected that it wasn't your usual spending habit, so I automatically had it blocked because they thought your card was stolen. I was so worried. I really thought your wallet was missing, so I agreed to the block for security." "Oh God." "Sophia." Leo groaned in frustration. "That was me. I was the one shopping. Unblock it right now. This is so embarrassing. People are staring at me." "Oh, so it was you." Sophia suppressed a bitter laugh. "I thought you were in a meeting for the condo project. Why are you at a jewelry store? What are you buying that costs over $100,000? Leo was silent for a moment, choking on his own words. He knew he was caught in his lie. It's for an investment, honey. I'll explain later. Just please unblock it now. Security wants to take me to their office." "I can't, Leo," Sophia replied calmly. "Once the status is stolen, it requires in-person verification at the bank to be unblocked." "Oh, wait. Where are you right now?" "Which jewelry store?" "At the South Shore Plaza, at Viridian Jewels," Leo answered weakly. "Oh my God, what a coincidence. I'm at the mall too, Leo. I was looking for a gift for Mom. I'll come over right now." "Don't," Leo shouted. If Sophia came and saw Chloe, it would be over for him. "Why not? If I come there, I can explain to the manager that you're my husband and pay with my debit card." "Do you want to be dragged away by the guards?" Sophia threatened softly. Leo fell silent. He looked at Chloe and gestured for her to leave. Chloe, utterly humiliated, quickly grabbed her bag and ran out of the store without a second glance, leaving Leo alone and looking like a fool. Seeing Chloe gone, Leo sighed in relief. "Okay, come here. Hurry, honey. Help me. Wait for me there." "I'll be there in 5 minutes," Sophia said. Sophia hung up the phone. She finished the rest of her coffee down to the last drop. She stood up, straightened her blouse, and put on the perfect mask of a concerned wife. "Time to act," she whispered. She walked out of the cafe and toward the lion's den to rescue the sheep who was, in reality, a wolf in disguise. Leo thought his problems would be over when Sophia arrived to pay. He had no idea that Sophia's arrival was the beginning of his true hell. Sophia entered Viridian Jewels with a style that was the complete opposite of the chaotic situation inside. She walked in calmly, her face showing just the right amount of concern, not over the top, but enough to convince anyone she was a caring wife. Near the counter stood a pale-faced Leo. The sleeves of his expensive polo shirt were slightly wrinkled, probably from his own anxious fidgeting. Beside him, the store manager and a mall security guard stood alert, as if Leo might make a run for it at any moment. "Leo," Sophia called, raising her voice slightly so everyone could hear. Leo turned, and the relief on his face was palpable, as if he had just seen an angel descend from heaven. "Honey!" Sophia approached and gently took her husband's arm. She could feel the tension in Leo's muscles and the cold sweat on his skin. Sophia looked at the store manager with a firm yet polite gaze. "Good afternoon. I'm Sophia Alcantara, Mr. Leo's wife," she said, pulling out her ID and a platinum debit card. "I'm so sorry for the misunderstanding. As I explained on the phone earlier, there was just some miscommunication with the bank due to a suspected data theft. My husband is not a fraud." The manager let out a sigh of relief, the tension easing from his shoulders. He recognized Sophia as a longtime VIP customer. "We were just following standard procedure, ma'am, because the POS machine rejected Mr. Alcantara's card with a stolen code." "I understand. You were just doing your jobs." Sophia smiled with understanding. Then she turned to Leo with an unreadable expression. "Leo, how could you be so careless? Is your wallet safe?" Leo nodded quickly. "It's safe, honey. It's safe. It was just an error with the credit card." "Well, that's a relief. All right. I'll take care of the payment." "What exactly were you buying that caused such a commotion?" Sophia asked, glancing at the now empty display case. The jewelry set Leo and Chloe had chosen had already been put away by the sales lady. Leo swallowed hard. This was the critical moment. It was impossible to say the jewelry was for Chloe. Chloe had fled 10 minutes ago. Leo stammered, his mind racing for an excuse. The truth is, I wanted to surprise you, Sophia. Our 7th anniversary is next month. I was going to buy you that diamond set you wanted. Sophia suppressed a scornful smile. Their anniversary was 3 months away. What an amateur liar. Oh, Sophia covered her mouth, feigning being touched. You remembered? Even though it's still a while away. Now I feel guilty for having your card blocked. I'm so sorry, honey. It's okay. It's okay. It was for security, after all, Leo replied, his voice starting to calm down as he believed his lie had worked. So, are we buying it? Sophia looked at the manager. Could you please bring out what my husband chose earlier? The sales lady hesitantly brought out the necklace and earring set. Sophia stared at it for a moment. The design was very youthful and flashy, not Sophia's elegant and minimalist style. It was clearly Chloe's taste. It's beautiful, Leo. But Sophia touched the pendant and then pushed it back. It's a bit too flashy for me. You know, I prefer simpler things. Besides, it's $250,000. That's a waste of money, honey. It would be better to add it to the fund for your project that's always so tight on cash. That sentence was a slap to Leo's ego. Sophia reminded him who had the money and who was in need, without sounding arrogant. Oh, is that so? Leo looked disappointed, but inwardly he was celebrating. He didn't have to spend Sophia's money on something he couldn't even give to Chloe anymore. All right, if you don't like it, we can look for something else next time. Let's just go home. I'll cook you a special dinner. As my apology for the embarrassment you went through here, Sophia offered, leading Leo out of the store. They walked out, Leo feeling like he had just escaped by the skin of his teeth. He didn't know that Sophia's grip on his arm was not a sign of affection, but the firm hold of a warden guiding a prisoner back to his cell. In the car on the way home, Sophia drove, saying Leo was probably still in shock. Silence filled the luxurious SUV. Was your meeting at this mall too? Sophia asked. Yes, at the Starbucks downstairs. After the meeting, I decided to come up and look around, Leo answered quickly. Too quickly. Ah, was your client a man or a woman? A man. Mr. Herman from Chicago. Leo lied again. Sophia nodded. I hope the deal goes through, honey, so you won't be so stressed about the office's cash flow anymore. Yeah, just pray for it. Leo leaned back in his seat and closed his eyes. He was exhausted. The acting had drained him. Beside him, Sophia smiled faintly. A tiny, almost imperceptible smile. Mr. Herman from Chicago, Sophia thought. All right, Leo. I'll take note of that fictional name. That night, around 1 a.m., the large Mediterranean-style house was quiet. Only the sound of crickets from the garden could be heard. In the master bedroom, Leo was sleeping soundly, his mouth slightly open, probably from the mental exhaustion of the incident at the mall. Sophia slowly got up. She didn't turn on the lights, so as not to wake Leo. She silently went downstairs to her home office. This office was the one place in the house Leo was not allowed to enter without permission, under the guise of client confidentiality for Sophia's family business. Sophia opened her laptop. The blue light from the screen illuminated her serious face. There was no trace of the sweet wife who had cooked her husband's favorite steak for dinner. This was Sophia, the chairperson, Sophia the enforcer. She opened an encrypted chat application on her phone. Sophia. Ben, did you get the data? Ben, auditor. Yes, ma'am. I just sent it to your secure email. The bookkeeping is a mess. The manipulation is blatant. Sophia opened the email. Ben was an independent forensic auditor she had secretly hired last week when she first became suspicious of Leo's late nights and the company's escalating expenses. On the laptop screen were rows of numbers in an Excel sheet, marked with red flags from Ben. It was the cash flow report of Alcantara Prime Properties, the subsidiary run by Leo. January 2. Operational expense. Client entertainment, $15,000. Expensive restaurant. January 10. Travel expense, Chicago, $25,000. Sophia knew Leo hadn't gone to Chicago on that date. January 15. Purchase of office assets, electronics, $35,000. There was no new equipment in the office. January 22. Transfer to third party. Consultant fee. Chloe Evans. $10,000. Sophia's gaze fixated on that name. Chloe Evans. So that's her full name. Sophia typed the name into a search engine. Her social media accounts immediately popped up, a public Instagram. Sophia scrolled through the photos. First photo, Chloe at an expensive restaurant. Date, January 2. Second photo, Chloe with a new designer bag. Date, January 15. Caption, self-reward. No, his reward Sophia matched the dates of the photos with the suspicious expenses in the financial report. A perfect match. Leo had used company money inherited from Sophia's father to fund this woman's lifestyle. That bag, that dinner, probably even the apartment Chloe lived in, were all paid for with her father's hard-earned money. Sophia's blood boiled, not with jealousy. Jealousy had died that afternoon at the jewelry store. What she felt now was disgust. Leo wasn't just an unfaithful husband. He was a thief. He was stealing from the hand that fed him. Sophia typed another message to Ben. Sophia, I need physical proof of the transfers. Complete bank statements for Chloe, if possible. Ben, that's a bit difficult, ma'am, since it's a different bank. But I can pull the data from the sender's records. From Mr. Leo's corporate account. I'll deliver the hard copies by noon tomorrow. Sophia, not at the office. Our usual spot. Thanks, Ben. Sophia closed her laptop. She sat in the dark for a few minutes, calming her breathing. Suddenly, her phone vibrated again. It wasn't a message from Ben, but a notification from Leo's mobile banking app. Sophia had secretly cloned access to it on her phone. As the majority shareholder, she had admin access to all corporate accounts. Outgoing transaction, $2,000 via Venmo to Chloe Evans. Time, 1:35 a.m. Sophia glanced towards the stairs. Leo must have woken up for a moment, sent money as an apology to his mistress, and then gone back to sleep. The paltry $2,000 was probably to placate Chloe, who was angry about not getting the diamonds. You're so cheap, Leo, Sophia whispered. Sophia went back to the bedroom. She quietly slipped under the covers, lying next to the man who now seemed like a disgusting stranger. Leo stirred slightly, his arm wrapping around Sophia's waist in his sleep. Sophia didn't move it. She let that filthy hand hold her. Enjoy your sleep tonight, Leo, Sophia thought, because soon, you won't be sleeping peacefully for the rest of your life. The next day at the office, Chloe was in a terrible mood. She slammed a stack of documents on her desk, startling her coworker. Hey, Chloe, what's wrong with you? It's so early, and you look like you're mad at the world, asked Jenna, a colleague. Just shut up. I have a headache, Chloe snapped. She stared at her phone screen. The $2,000 from Leo had come in, but it wasn't enough to soothe her humiliation. Yesterday, she had to run out of the jewelry store like a thief. From a distance, she had even seen Leo's wife arrive, exuding class and luxury, while she hid in a mall bathroom for half an hour. Her phone buzzed. A message from Leo. Leo, honey, I'm so sorry about yesterday. My wife is being extra suspicious. She blocked all my cards. I'll make it up to you, double, once the project funds are released. Chloe scoffed. Promises? Always promises. She typed a reply. Chloe, I don't need promises, Leo. I was so humiliated yesterday. You said you were the big boss. But even your credit card is controlled by your wife. What are you? A husband or a servant? She hit send. She knew exactly which buttons to push to trigger the ego of a man like Leo. In the main office, in his luxurious prison of an office, Leo read the message with a flushed face. He was in turmoil. Sophia had come to the office today. And not just come, she had settled into the chairperson's office, her father's old office, and summoned the entire finance team for a routine audit. Leo was helpless. He couldn't go see Chloe, couldn't even call. And now Chloe was cornering him. He secretly replied under his desk. Leo, just be patient, honey. Sophia is doing a surprise audit. The situation is tense. Don't add to my stress. Chloe. Oh, so you're more scared of your wife. Fine. If I don't receive adequate compensation this week, let's just break up. Or maybe I'll just come to the main office myself and introduce myself to Mrs. Sophia. She seems nice. Leo's eyes widened. A real threat. Chloe knew where the main office was. If she came there and made a scene while Sophia was auditing, it would be the end of him. Leo panicked. He had no large sums of cash. All his access to money was monitored by Sophia after yesterday's incident. Suddenly, Leo's office door opened. Sophia walked in without knocking. Leo nearly threw his phone in shock. "Hey, honey, you startled me," Leo said, hiding his phone screen. Sophia smiled sweetly. She was carrying 2 cups of coffee. "Sorry, Leo. I brought you coffee. You look tense. Are you worried about the audit results?" "What? No, of course not. Our records are clean," Leo denied, a cold sweat trickling down his back. "Just a lot of work." Sophia placed the coffee on his desk and sat on its edge, positioning herself slightly higher than Leo. A position of power. "Leo, let's have dinner out tonight. I'm craving a good steak. How about prime cut in Soho? I hear it's amazing. And I want to talk about the future of your career," Sophia said, adjusting Leo's collar. Leo's heart pounded. Prime cut in Soho. That was Chloe's favorite spot. She often posted pictures from there, and she and her friends always hung out there on Friday nights, and today was Friday. Let's not go there, honey. Traffic to Soho is terrible on a Friday. Let's just go somewhere near home," Leo suggested. Sophia shook her head. "No, I want to eat there. It has to be there. I've already made a reservation for 8 p.m. Don't be late." Sophia patted Leo's cheek and walked out. "Get back to your work. And stop playing on your phone." After Sophia left, Leo felt weak. He quickly texted Chloe. "Leo, don't go to Prime Cut in Soho tonight. Sophia and I are having dinner there. Don't show up." 2 check marks. Read, but no reply. Elsewhere, Chloe smirked. "Oh, so you want to flaunt your relationship at my hangout spot? Fine, Leo, game on." That evening, Prime Cut was packed. The dim lighting, smooth jazz music, and the aroma of grilled meat filled the air. Sophia and Leo were seated at a prime table in the middle of the restaurant. Sophia looked stunning in a simple black dress. Leo, meanwhile, was on edge, his eyes constantly darting toward the entrance. "What's wrong, Leo? Who are you looking for?" Sophia asked as she cut into her steak. Nothing. It's just a little warm in here," Leo replied, quickly drinking his water. "Really? I think the AC is quite cold." Sophia smiled. "This steak is delicious. No wonder so many young people hang out here. Maybe even your pretty secretary has made it her favorite spot." Leo choked on his food. Sophia gently handed him a napkin. "Easy there, Leo. Why so surprised? What was your secretary's name again? Chloe, right?" "Yes, Chloe. Why do you ask?" "Oh, no reason. I just saw in the expense report that there was a consultant fee under her name. I was just wondering, since when did a secretary become a consultant? Does she have 2 jobs?" Sophia looked directly into Leo's eyes. Leo froze. He hadn't expected Sophia to bring up the audit in a public place. "That was probably just an input error, Sophia. I'll check it. Don't jump to conclusions." "I'm not jumping to conclusions. I'm just asking." Sophia smiled again, a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Suddenly, a familiar female laugh came from the entrance. Leo's head snapped around. There, walking in confidently with 2 friends, was Chloe. She was wearing a very eye-catching red dress, a stark contrast to Sophia's black one. Chloe saw them. Of course, she did it on purpose. Instead of avoiding them, she walked straight past their table. As she passed, she stopped for a moment, feigning surprise. "Oh, Mr. Alcantara," Chloe greeted in a sweet but loud voice. Leo felt like he wanted the ground to swallow him whole. "Hey, Chloe, you eat here too?" "Yes, sir. I'm a regular." Chloe flicked her hair and looked at Sophia, sizing her up from head to toe. "You must be Mrs. Sophia, right? Sir's wife." Sophia slowly put down her silverware. She didn't stand up, remaining seated with an air of regal composure. She looked at Chloe as a queen might look at a rude servant. "Yes, I'm Sophia. And you're Chloe, my husband's employee." "Personal secretary, ma'am," Chloe corrected, emphasizing the word personal. "Ah, a secretary. I've heard you're quite good at multitasking. You even handle matters outside the office?" Sophia insinuated. Chloe smirked. "I just help Mr. Leo with whatever he needs. Sometimes he needs help he can't get at home." The air at their table turned ice cold. Leo was pale, terrified Chloe might explode and reveal everything. "Chloe, your friends are waiting for you over there," Leo said quickly, trying to shoo her away. "It's okay, sir. Just relax. Chloe laughed. Well, Mrs. Sophia, enjoy your romantic dinner. Chloe sauntered over to her table, just 3 tables away from them. Throughout her meal, Chloe kept glancing at Leo, sometimes raising her glass as if in a toast. Leo couldn't swallow his food. Sophia, meanwhile, calmly finished her steak. Your secretary is quite aggressive, isn't she, Leo? Sophia commented. Be careful. Women like that will do anything to get ahead. You might become their victim. Yes, Sophia. I'll talk to her at the office, Leo replied weakly. Good. Oh, and speaking of the office, Sophia wiped her mouth, her expression turning serious. I have a great offer for you. A solution to your money problems. A spark of hope ignited in Leo's eyes. The next chapter begins now, Sophia thought. Sophia took a tablet out of her bag and opened a presentation. You know that large, undeveloped piece of land my father owned in West Virginia? A mining site whose permits were just approved last month. Sophia began, laying her bait. Leo nodded. Of course, he knew about it. I've been thinking. You're right, Leo. You need to prove yourself. You're always seen as Sophia's husband or the boss's son-in-law. That must be hard for a man's ego, Sophia said with fake sympathy. Leo was touched. Yes, Sophia. That's exactly how I feel. I want to prove I can lead a major project on my own. So, I'm giving you full responsibility for the West Virginia project. 100%, Sophia declared. Leo's eyes widened. Seriously, Sophia? Seriously. I want you to be the president and CEO of the new subsidiary that will handle this project. We'll call it Appalachian Prosperity Mining Corp. You'll have complete control. Leo's face lit up. Visions of billions of dollars danced in his mind. If he controlled this project, he wouldn't have to worry about credit card limits. He could buy Chloe not just a necklace, but the entire jewelry store. But there's a condition, Leo, Sophia said. What is it? I'll do anything. Because this project is large and high risk, it requires commitment. You'll sign an agreement stating you bear full legal and financial liability. If it's profitable, you'll get a 20% bonus from the net profit. That's a huge amount, Leo. But if it fails due to mismanagement, that's your responsibility, not the parent company's. Leo, blinded by the 20% bonus and the prospect of total control, didn't think twice. In his arrogant mind, he was sure he could handle it. I agree, Sophia. That's how business works. High risk, high reward, he said. And one more thing. Since the project is in West Virginia, you'll need to stay there for the first 3 months, starting next week. Leo paused. 3 months away from New York. But then he glanced at Chloe. If he had power and money, he could secretly bring Chloe there. This was his chance to escape Sophia's watchful eye. I'm ready, Sophia. For our future, Leo said. Sophia smiled. A victorious smile. Leo had just dug his own grave. The West Virginia project was real, but it was plagued with environmental permit issues and an unresolved land dispute with a local community. Sophia's father had deliberately left the land untouched because it was too risky. By appointing Leo with full legal liability, Sophia was making her husband the scapegoat who would face all the lawsuits and losses. And most importantly, Sophia would cut off all funding from the main office the moment Leo got there. In that case, we'll sign the papers with the notary tomorrow morning. Congratulations, Mr. President and CEO, Sophia said, raising her glass. Thank you, honey. You're the best wife, Leo replied. Across the restaurant, Chloe saw them toast. Her blood boiled. She didn't know that the glass Leo raised was a glass of poison that would also kill her future. The next morning, in the main conference room of Alcantara Holdings Incorporated, the air felt colder than usual. At the long mahogany table sat the board of directors and the company's notary public. Sophia was at the head of the table as chairperson. In front of Leo lay a thick stack of documents. The agreement for Appalachian Prosperity Mining Corp. Please read the clauses carefully, Mr. Alcantara, said the notary, especially Article 18 concerning the director's absolute liability. Leo, already drunk on the idea of being CEO, quickly flipped through the pages. He didn't bother reading the fine print on page 45. Any losses, legal issues, and financial obligations arising from the director's negligence or decisions shall be the personal liability, under personal guarantee, of said director, without involving the assets of the parent company. I've reviewed it. It's just standard procedure, right? Leo said. He picked up his Mont Blanc pen, a gift from Sophia, and signed. Each signature was another nail he hammered into his own coffin. Congratulations, Mr. Alcantara, the notary said. Sophia clapped. Congrats, honey. Your ticket to West Virginia for tomorrow is all set. Remember, you'll be there for 3 months. Yes, boss, Leo winked at Sophia. That afternoon, Leo secretly met with Chloe. He tossed the key to a new apartment on the table. Honey, I'm leaving for West Virginia tomorrow. Come with me. I'm the CEO now. We'll live in a company villa there. Chloe's eyes lit up. Really, Leo? A villa? Like a vacation? Of course. Start packing. But we'll take separate flights, so we're not discovered. They had no idea the villa Leo was referring to was just a set of barracks in the middle of the woods. Leo himself had never been there. He had only seen old photos Sophia had shown him. That night, Leo slept soundly beside Sophia. Sophia, meanwhile, was wide awake, sending a message to Mr. Reynolds at the bank. Sophia, the legal documents have been signed. Activate the protocol to freeze the parent company's assets for Appalachian Prosperity Mining Corp. Tomorrow at 12 p.m., cut off all funding. Mr. Reynolds. Copied. Mrs. Alcantara. It will be done. Leo and Chloe were greeted in West Virginia by scorching heat. They stood outside the small regional airport, waiting for their ride. An old, muddy 4x4 pickup truck arrived. This is your service. The others are broken, the driver said. The 4-hour drive was hell. No air conditioning, bumpy roads. When they arrived at the site, the reality was even harsher. There was no villa, just old, dilapidated container offices and barracks. What is this place, Leo? Chloe shrieked when she saw the filthy bathroom. You said a villa. This is a pigsty. Hold on. I'll call Sophia, Leo said. After finding a signal, he called. Sophia, what is the meaning of this? Why is the place like this? On the other end, Sophia's voice was calm. Oh, I forgot to mention. The renovation budget is for next year. Since you're the CEO now, it's your job to generate profit to buy new facilities. It's in the contract. Click. The call was disconnected. Leo tried to use the corporate card to check into a hotel in town. Sorry, sir. Declined, the receptionist said. He tried his personal card. Declined. Sophia had truly cut everything off. Leo, don't tell me you have no money, Chloe said angrily. In the end, Chloe used her own savings to pay for the hotel. That night, Leo received an email from a local law firm, a notice of a land dispute. All heavy equipment operations were to cease because the land was being claimed by a local community. He was required to appear in court. Leo collapsed onto the floor. He was alone on a remote site, with no money, a legal case, and a mistress who was starting to complain nonstop. A week passed, and the situation worsened. Leo couldn't return to New York because Sophia had frozen his salary. She had also blocked his number. Chloe's money was running out. One morning at breakfast, everything exploded. Chloe saw an email notification on Leo's phone from Sophia. Leo, don't be so extravagant. If you can't fund the operations, according to the contract, you must use your own money. What does this mean, Leo? You're supposed to use your own money? I thought you were the boss, Chloe screamed, grabbing his phone. Give that back. Answer me. Do you actually have any money? Finally, Leo confessed. No. Sophia blocked everything. Chloe fell silent, her face red with rage. So everything you boasted about just came from your wife? You're nothing but a freeloader. Leo's ego was shattered. You bastard. Chloe threw Leo's phone on the floor. I regret ever coming with you. I thought I was going to be a queen. Instead, I became a beggar. Chloe ran back to the room. Leo tried to stop her, but she slapped him. Don't touch me. I'm going back to New York, and I'm going to tell your wife everything so she'll finally divorce you. Leo smiled bitterly. Go ahead. She probably already knows. But Chloe had another plan. In the taxi to the airport, she opened Instagram and searched for Sophia's account. She sent a direct message. Chloe Evans. Good afternoon, Mrs. Alcantara. I think you need to know what your husband has been doing behind your back. We've been having an affair for a long time. He brought me here to West Virginia using your money. Here's the evidence. Chloe attached all their photos, screenshots of their conversations, where Leo insulted Sophia, and proof of the money transfers. She smiled with satisfaction. You're finished, Leo. What Chloe didn't know was that in New York, Sophia was sitting calmly in her office. The DM came through. She opened it, looking at the photos without a trace of pain. Instead, a wide smile spread across her lips. "Thank you, Chloe," Sophia whispered. "I was waiting for this ammunition. You just made my job easier, so I don't have to hire an expensive lawyer to find evidence of adultery." She methodically screenshotted everything and placed it in a folder named Checkmate. Then, she replied to Chloe. "Sophia, thank you for the information, Miss Evans. This evidence will be extremely helpful for the emergency shareholders meeting tomorrow morning. Enjoy your flight back." Chloe read the reply at the airport. A chill ran down her spine. Shareholders meeting. She suddenly understood. She wasn't destroying Leo. She was helping Sophia execute him. And as a recipient of stolen money, she could be implicated too. The next day, on the top floor of the Alcantara Tower, the tension in the emergency shareholders meeting was thick. Sophia's uncles, board members, and Ben the forensic auditor were all present. The chair for the CEO of Appalachian Prosperity Mining Corp was empty. "Ladies and gentlemen," Sophia began, "our agenda today is to review the integrity of Mr. Leo Alcantara." The projector lit up, displaying the financial audit, the suspicious transactions. Then, it showed the photos and screenshots Chloe had sent. The room erupted in chaos. "The nerve," shouted Sophia's uncle. "He used our money on his mistress." "That's not all," Sophia said. "He also signed a fraudulent contract in West Virginia that has caused potential losses in the billions." "That's a crime." "Exactly," Sophia replied coldly. "And according to Article 18 of the agreement, all losses are his personal liability. I have 3 proposals. First, we terminate Mr. Leo Alcantara from all his positions. Second, we sue him to recover the $150 million in misappropriated funds and for $500 million in damages. Third, we report him to the authorities for embezzlement and grand larceny." "Agreed," the shareholders shouted in unison. The gavel struck 3 times. Bang, bang, bang. Leo's career was over. Not only was he fired, he was now $500 million in debt to his wife's family. 3 days later, Leo made it back to New York after pawning his expensive watch. He looked disheveled and exhausted. He went straight to their Park Avenue penthouse. The key fob didn't work. He got out of the cab and buzzed the doorman. "Carl, open up. It's me." The doorman came out. "I'm sorry, Mr. Alcantara. I have instructions not to let you up." Suddenly, a black sedan pulled up. 2 men in suits got out. "Mr. Leo Alcantara?" "Yes." "Who are you?" "We're from the law firm representing Mrs. Sophia Alcantara." They handed him a thick envelope. Leo opened it. His eyes widened as he read the contents. 1. A letter of termination. 2. A petition for annulment. 3. A demand letter for over $500 million, payable within 14 days. 4. A notice of criminal complaint for embezzlement and wire fraud, carrying a sentence of up to 20 years in prison. Leo's knees went weak. The papers fell onto the hot asphalt. "Mrs. Alcantara has a message for you," the lawyer said. "She asks if you remember the diamonds you chose for another woman. She said they were expensive, but the price of your betrayal is much higher. Enjoy your new life of poverty." The lawyers left. Leo was left alone outside his own home. Fired, billions in debt, and facing prison, the taxi driver asked for the fare. Leo reached into his pocket. It was empty. It was then he realized his life was over. And Sophia, the woman he thought was weak, had destroyed him without ever getting her own hands dirty. Chloe was now living in a small, walk-up apartment in the Bronx. She had sold all her designer bags. One day, the police knocked on her door. They brought her to the precinct as a key witness in the case against Leo. "You could also be a suspect for receiving stolen property," Miss Evans, Sophia's lawyer, told her. "But if you cooperate and disclose everything Leo did, we might consider not pressing charges against you." Chloe didn't hesitate. "I'll tell you everything. He forced me. It was all his fault." In court, Leo sat in the defendant's chair, wearing an orange prison jumpsuit, looking thin and defeated. Sophia sat in the front row, watching. When Chloe testified, she revealed everything, blaming Leo for every detail. The judge read the verdict. The defendant, Leo Alcantara, is found guilty of the crime of grand larceny. He is sentenced to a term of 10 years and 6 months in prison. Leo's world collapsed. As he was being led out of the courtroom, he and Sophia crossed paths. "Sophia," he whispered, Are you happy now? Sophia looked at him, her expression blank. This isn't about happiness, Leo. It's about consequences. You chose this path the moment you stood in that jewelry store. I just escorted you to your final destination. I'm sorry, Sophia. Save your apologies for God. In this world, your time is up. Sophia turned and walked away, the sound of her heels slowly fading. The sun over Manhattan was golden. As Sophia exited the building, the valet brought her new car around a two-door sports coupe she had bought for herself. She got inside, placing a paper bag from Viridian Jewels on the passenger seat. A seat that was empty, but not lonely. Her phone rang. Hello, Mrs. Alcantara. This is the U.S. Marshal's Service. I'm just informing you that Mr. Leo Alcantara's assets will be auctioned off tomorrow. Would you like to attend? Sophia was silent. That penthouse. Those cars. Those memories. No, thank you, she said firmly. Sell it all. Please donate the proceeds to a children's shelter in the name of the Hopewell Foundation. I don't want to touch that dirty money. You have a very kind heart, ma'am. It's not kindness. I'm just throwing out the trash in the right place. Sophia hung up the phone. She pressed the accelerator, the car roaring down Park Avenue. She glanced in the rearview mirror. She saw herself. The woman who was trembling behind the pillars 6 months ago was gone. In her place was the new Sophia, free, powerful, and not needing any man to feel her worth. She took the small jewelry box from the paper bag and opened it. A stunning diamond ring. She slipped it onto her finger. Goodbye, Leo, she whispered to the wind. And thank you for teaching me that the best investment is in myself. Sophia smiled, a genuine, happy, and free smile. She played her favorite song, turned up the volume, and sped toward the horizon. Her life was just beginning, and this time, she was the writer, director, and star of her own story.